Hey, what's going on? Dave Erickson here with Ironman Darts, and this comment keeps on popping up below my videos, and it's something, believe me, I am working on, and that is the follow-through. You know, when I hit my numbers, the follow-through looks and feels great. Sometimes I'll hit the number, but the follow-through doesn't feel that good, and what I'm working on is continuing to extend that hand all the way through. Sometimes I short stroke it like this. I'll go, see how can I stopped it? But I want to go all the way through, and those were all just above the trip 20. So I just want to actually record this for myself as well as to teach others the importance of that follow through, something that sometimes I just can't quite, I forget to focus on it. And I'm wondering what's going on with the throw and why it's not hitting. Those are all good. They all actually hit each other too. Something about not getting that follow through and not focusing and reminding myself the importance of those mechanics. So if I was telling someone who is new to throwing darts, I'd say, well, first things first, let's get your balance. Let's establish your stance. How do you want your foot to be? Do you want to be directly with your toe forward? You want to be like a 45? Do you want to be completely on the side? Completely on the side gives you the closest distance from between you and the board because you're here. So there's that. If I want my toe to 45, now I'm a little bit further back. Toe, I'm way much further back. So I'm somewhere in between the 45 and the full 90, but it's always just a feel. So once you get that, it's a balance. I've heard some of the professionals say putting 60% here on your front leg, maybe 40% of weight on the back, maybe 70-30. The back foot to me is more of a kickstand, a holding your position. And once you've got that weight down, how can you hold it? It's bringing up and somewhere in that 90-degree angle of the elbow. And this elbow needs to stay where it is until you extend, and then it can lift. That's what I have found to be my experience. Keeping the head and the body still. There's no bobbing. There's no leaning forward, back and forth. It's holding your position. So when you get to that spot and you're throwing and you reach for the next dart, nothing should change. Shoulders shouldn't change. Head should not change. Chin should not be going forward. Millimeters maybe. But getting that spot, balance. There's also the grip, of course. What grip feels good? What's a good balance in your fingers? When I first started out, people say, hold it like a pencil, wherever that weight may be. You may be further back in the barrel. Some people have a finger on the tip or maybe between the tip and the barrel, holding it somewhere like that. Some people will have three. Some people use a ring finger for the fourth. Once you find a feel, go with that feel and then work on the rest of the mechanics. But whatever that is, it should be a nice, comfortable feeling. Get that feel before every throw. If you are rushing it, that's when the grip will not be consistent. You're throwing, coming back and throwing. There's a rhythm to all of this that I have found. So here, find that grip right here in the hands as you're down. If I'm down here, that's where I do it. Then I'm up, and then once you've got that spot, the elbow stays there, and then you're hopefully following all the way through. A lot of people will say, bend the wrist, flick the wrist when you're done, extend the entire arm. Some people will do this and stop. One of the important parts is where are you releasing the dart? There's a sweet spot. The spot that is released, maybe it's around here, and if it hits where you want to hit, that's where your sweet spot is. If you let go too late, it's going to dive. If you let go too soon, it's going to sail. So I have experienced that too. I know if it's a late release, the dart dives and drops low. If it's like too early and let go too early, it's going to sail above where you want to go. So if I'm putting all that together, balance, get the right grip, and extend. A little high on the board. You can't see it, but a little high on the board, but it's right above the trip 20. Extend. That hit the last dart. Extend right on the upper wire of the trip 20. And those are pretty vertical. But each throw should have a good balance and weight to it. when I started out, I would experiment on where I would place myself on the Aki. You see some of the big name pros will go all the way over here to the right and throw across almost. I don't see many people start left and throw this way, but you may see some people, go straight at it. There's a video with Phil Taylor a long time ago where he says, you want to line up your hip, your shoulder from the top of the 20 down the bullseye down to the 3. If that is your line, then you are lined up correctly. If you're over here, that's kind of a weird spot because now you're at an angle versus lining up from the hip, ankle, shoulder, along that entire line up and down. Then you know you're centered, according to Phil Taylor from back in the day. But some people might have an angle and whatever feels right, but whatever it is, I've noticed for me that I need to stay in the same spot. Moving around really changes the trajectory of the dart, the angle of the dart. So if you can stay in the same spot mostly, then you're going to be a little more consistent and everything's going to be around the same distance for your throw. In soft tip, I might cheat over to one side if I'm going for the triple 16s for a second, for example, and then go over here for triple 15s. I have done that and had success, but that's what works for me and I've experimented with that. Okay, back into 3 rhythm throws. And that was 20-20, triple 20. And somewhat vertical here, about like that. That's what the darts were. There's also pacing. There's also the pacing of the throw. I've seen some professionals that will, here's an example of one guy who I won't say his name, but he'll go here, 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 and he's walking up within like 5 seconds. Some people take a lot longer. Someone like Peter Wright, who might kind of line up and then reset, and throw. But for me, it is a rhythm, a nice pacing, but that rhythm needs to include, for me, the grip has to be there in that process. So let's say I'm going here, I have a little bit of a pause here, and then I throw on the first dart. There's that pause, set, and then pull back. Now I'm reaching down here. I'm way slow now, but I want to make sure the grip is good before I bring it up. If I'm twisting the dart in this motion here, I'm not ready. So when I throw, I want to get my grip here good before I come up and then set and throw again. And the second throw has a little more of a smooth rhythm to it versus the beginning first one and then go this, because I'm back here, boom, and throw again. I think that second follow through wasn't there, but just trying to make the point of finding a good rhythm and pace. Balance, get the grip good, set, follow through, grip, follow through, grip, follow through. All right by the trip 20. So that's actually playing pretty, I'm throwing okay right now, but I'm also concentrating and focus on that follow through. Set, balance. I don't like that follow through. That was okay. Hit the barrel of the first dart. So they're actually, I think I've hit all 20s now. It's good. Okay. That's the idea. I got something else to tell you in a second. Last one, those are kind of high. Actually, the first one was good. The second two were a little higher. There is something with, what was I going to say? I already talked about the release. Leaning into it. If you find that you are comfortable with your mechanics, you're good with how you're throwing, but you're consistently throwing high or consistently throwing low. Let's say it's high, like you're overthrowing, but they're accurate. You want to go a little bit lower. I have found for me that if I have, oh, I know what it is now. If I lean into it, I'm actually lowering my throw versus sitting up higher. But this throw, and I maintain the same mechanics, starts me off lower as opposed to standing up higher and the throw could sail. But if I lean into it, I have to throw more into more of a level throw versus standing higher, and I'm kind of like throwing up, down. Okay, the other thing I was thinking about saying was, if you have a mat like this, which I got online for $100, it's got an integrated Aki in it, so it's stationary, and this is a nice hard rubber mat, which is movable. This allows you to stay focused on the board the entire time. Whereas if you have to look down, looking down and resetting your eyes, it may only be a second, but that's one more second of not focusing on the number. So let's say I have to look down. I'm down here, get my foot set, then I come up, 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom. Now, then I'm not ready to throw. But if I'm starting back here and I'm looking at my number going, okay, I see my number. All right, I know that my board's here. I've got an extra 3 or 4 seconds of hyper focus, zeroing in on the target. But I know where this is going to be. And those were below trip, above trip, and a little heavier in the top of the 20, but all 20s. I like this because, God willing, if I ever get to a certain level, they're going to have an integrated Aki wherever I play. But you're not always going to have that. You're going to have a line down there. So if you anticipate you're always going to have a line down there, maybe get set, then start looking up and take a little longer before you're ready to go. That way you have those extra seconds to look at the line, at the target. Trip. Right above the trip, but straight. And that was a 1, but right above the wire. So a couple things to think about when you're throwing that whole entire approach with the balance, the follow through, and working on the correct mechanics. Trip 20. I think trip 20. Oh, trip 20, and 20. So that's 140. I'll leave it at that just for now. But thank you for the comments. I know I need to work on that follow through, and I'll make a video soon that's strictly about the purpose being follow through. One of my most recent videos I did playing the computer on Scolia was aiming at the triple 20 and below, because with the Scolia automatic dart scoring system, they give you great statistics at the end. And those statistics give you coordinates in the form of little blue dots. And it shows you where all your darts have hit on the board after a series of 501 matches. You can break it down by leg, entire match. And there's also a heat map kind of showing the concentration of all your darts. And darker the red, and then it gets a little pinker on the outside. So that video I did recently was really a big focus on staying around the trip 20 or below, because I was sailing my darts too high, because I was aware of it thanks to the statistics. In my upcoming video, I'll make that my focus, is to add that to the criteria. Stay below the triple 20, but make sure my throws are extended. And I'll be okay if I miss the number as long as I'm extending, because I find by watching myself throw, whether it's slow motion or recap watching my games, when I have the extension, the darts fly truer. Sometimes I'll still get one in because it's a touch. You know, sometimes you have a good little touch, you can just kind of, you know, drop it in, especially if you have a couple that you can stack on top of that. But that's not really the correct form. And I was reminded about that recently. That's why I'm making this video, is that there is a reason you need to have the correct form every time. That way the darts fly consistently versus a short stroke or a late release, because it'll fly or it'll dive. Anyways, thank you for watching. This channel has been a journey for me to document my own games and my own progression. And then every once in a while I get to play someone pretty cool and share those games with you here on the channel. Let me know where you're watching from. That's always awesome to know where you're watching from. It's got a great international audience who have supported me over the years. I think at this point, we're probably over 25,000 subscribers, which is amazing because I'm not advertising. It's just, people find it and share it. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed already, you found this helpful, give it a like, maybe share it, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, throw them straight, throw them often. Adios. Believe it or not, you are on the verge of taking your darts game to the next level. I wish I had this when I started. The Darts Dominator training course is built with one purpose: to get you results. With over 6 hours of video content and a skillfully crafted step-by-step system, this course is your fast track to becoming the player you know you can be. So here's what's inside. Mental mastery. It's not just about technique, it's about mindset. Master elite mental strategies like visualization, pre-throw rituals to stay calm, focused, and in control from the first throw to the last. This is the area where you'll overcome nerves and build your confidence. Next, pinpoint accuracy. Frustrated by missed shots? I know the feeling. The accuracy section dives into grip, stance, targeting, and follow through with video-guided drills that make every throw count. With targeted exercises that build muscle memory and consistency, you'll see your averages improve big time. Tournament readiness. This section is packed with tips on managing tournament pressure, preparing mentally, and performing when it counts. You'll know how to tackle game day nerves and walking in feeling focused and prepared. Finally, effective and proven practice routines. Stop wasting time with random throws. Practice with real purpose. My structured routines help you pinpoint weak spots, track progress, and build consistency. Whether you have 15 minutes or an hour, these routines are designed to make every practice session count. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned player, this course offers step-by-step guidance for all levels. If you're committed to leveling up, the Darts Dominator training course provides every tool and technique you need to make that leap. All this for less than a bar tab. Download the course today and watch those averages and victories go up.